hip internal rotation, pails and rails. So for this, we can get into a 90-90 position, meaning this front leg is coming out 90 degrees and the back leg is following as well. So make sure we're not too close in or too far apart. We are right in these 90-degree angles. Now, to really feel a stretch in the intended hip, which is this back hip, and we want to look at internal rotation, I want you to imagine that your knee, your ankle on both sides are stapled to the ground. Now, the only way to move if everything else is stapled to the ground is through our chest and our pelvis or our hips here. So what I want you to do, and you can use this other hand as a kickstand if you need to, but I want you to imagine getting this butt cheek as close to the ground as you can. You can do that by turning your hips or your pelvis as well as your chest. Now, if everything else remains stapled to the ground, you should be feeling a nice stretch in this lateral area or in the back of your butt, and that's kind of what we want to feel. So if you feel a pinching sensation here in the front or near your groin, we want to avoid this. This might not be the best position for you right now. So once we are in our intended stretch position in 90-90, I want you to hold this for about 2 minutes. Okay, we can practice our breathing here, but really concentrating on getting that nice stretch in this lateral hip. After we have reached 2 minutes, we're going to begin to ramp up our pails contraction. Pails contraction for this movement, or for this stretch, would be pushing the knee and the foot of this trail leg into the ground. Now, I like to think of this sometimes as an ice cream scooper. So if you think of your foot trying to scoop through the ground, you'll see that I'm rotating through as if I'm scooping that ice cream. So while the knee and the foot are both going to be pushing, we're really concentrating on that rotational force through the back foot here. So we will start by adding just a 10% contraction on an isometric push into the ground, or ice cream scooping, 10%. And then we will slowly ramp that up, 20%, 30%, 40%, all the way to 100%, or your safest, greatest effort. Now I want you to really feel this butt stuff squeezing. If you don't feel that yet, that's okay, just keep giving it a try, really concentrating on diving or scooping that foot and that knee into the ground. Now, after we reach our 100% contraction for about 10 seconds, we will hold that there, and then we will enter into our rails contraction, or our regressive angle contraction. This is just the opposite of pails, which means I want you to lift your foot and your knee. Imagine lifting them off the ground or rotating that foot off the ground. Now, if we are really in our maximum stretch, nothing will move here, and that is completely okay, and that should be the goal. Okay, so you will be trying to squeeze as hard as you can, bringing the foot to the ceiling, or imagine bringing the knee and the foot together off of the ground. Okay, you should get a nice, maybe a cramp in here. Once again, that's okay. Our body's just getting used to this position. After we hold this rails contraction for as long or as hard as we can for 10 seconds, we can relax, take a breath, sink deeper into the stretch possibly, and we will rinse and repeat this process one more time.